My name is John Cinti, C-I-N-T-I. I grew up in North Jersey, up in East Orange in Essex County. I grew up in Essex County. On both sides of my family, I'm the descendant of coal miners. We're all from Northeast Pennsylvania area near Wilkes-Barre. I'm 3/4 Italian and 1/4 Irish. I went to University of Scranton, which is also up in Northeast Pennsylvania. And that school, University of Scranton is a Jesuit school, which has an absolutely outstanding focus on educational rigor. And it has been the source of education to a lot of my family. We've all kind of gone back there for the education, and they really provide an outstanding education because their basic concept, which I really endorse, is that, we don't want to turn out somebody who's, maybe excellent in one field but doesn't have any background in, the other fields that they may run into during the course of their life. They really want to turn out well-rounded and well-educated individuals. And then when I graduated from there, I went to get my law degree at Rutgers Law School in Newark, which is literally down the street from where I grew up. I am a certified civil trial attorney. I have been since 2004, which basically means I try a lot of civil cases in New Jersey. And they run the gambit from personal injury cases to complex commercial cases to sometimes very complex personal injury cases to contract disputes to professional disputes. It's actually a nice mix, and it keeps it interesting because you're not looking at the same thing every time. So I enjoy it. I've had very good success in trying cases. That said, I think some of the most enjoyable experience I've had is not simply winning the case. I mean, you don't do what I do if you don't enjoy that interaction with your adversary and your effort to win the litigation. But I really get more of a sense of satisfaction when I have a younger attorney that I've either given advice to or some that I've mentored, because I've done that for a number of years now, come back to me and said, "Do you remember when you told me X, whatever X happens to be? Well, I've been relying on that, and it's really worked out well for me." And that is really a very satisfying feeling to know that you've helped the next generation that's coming up behind us with what you've experienced. And I enjoy doing it. And as a part of the reason that I teach a lot of seminars, including trial skills seminars to other attorneys, and I do 4 a year, more than that probably, is that I enjoy that sense of the interaction with other attorneys, but also that sense of having helped somebody through or help them with a piece of advice or giving them the benefit of some experience that I've had. It's the problem solving. Every case is a new experience. I mean, certainly over the years, I've been doing this 32 years now. You can look at certain types of cases and say, well, this type of case is kind of like, so many that you've done in the past. But each case is unique, and it presents different problems and different ways that you need to approach it. You really can't simply sit back and say, well, it's just like every other case and do it. And it also makes us kind of, I have to say dangerous in the fact that we become mini experts in very narrow fields. I have no background in biology or medicine, yet since I've done so many personal injury cases over the years and had to put on my own medical experts or cross-examine the other side's medical experts, I've derived a fairly decent understanding of human biology and human anatomy and medicine, to the extent that, I've had doctors tell me, wow, have you ever thought about, going to medical school? No, but thank you for the thought, because again, it's in a very narrow band. It's certainly not as broad as these people who dedicated their lives as physicians understand the discipline. But, we have that same experience, not just myself, but most trial attorneys, in not just medicine, but in engineering, as an example, or other fields of endeavor where you really begin to understand how these people who do it for a living and have the advanced degrees in it, how they approach the problems. And certainly you're never going to be on a par with them in terms of their level of knowledge, but it's very interesting when you begin to be able to communicate with them at a level that's you're both understanding what the other one has to say. Let's put it that way. I grew up in, like I said, East Orange, which is a city that has more people per square mile than downtown Manhattan. It was a city by any definition. Where I live now, they kind of roll the sidewalks up when the sun goes down. It's a very different experience, but I enjoy it. I get to have really nice and excellent neighbors in the neighborhood. And my whole family has kind of settled down in South Jersey now. So I'm say a little more than a mile from my father, who lives down here now too, and maybe about 2 miles from my brother and his family. So it's nice having everybody in the same general area. I've been to Carnival in Rio de Janeiro a number of times. I love to travel. And the funny thing is, I didn't really start to travel until I was an adult. The first time I was on an airplane, I was already in law school. And since that time, I just, like going places and seeing things. I've been to Brazil about literally a dozen times. I've been to London probably half a dozen times. Germany, France, Turkey, Israel, Jordan, Italy, a bunch of other places. And what I enjoy doing is I'll land and spend some time, maybe a week or so, in a particular city that I'm interested in seeing, and then rent a car and drive, because that's how you get to experience, the other culture and the other lifestyle, as opposed to just being in the one city. And it really is just magnificent. You find out things about yourself and you find out things about other people. I really, really enjoy doing it. And then I really enjoy coming home, but I'm done doing it. So it's a lot of fun. I dedicate a lot of my time to my local parish. Look, every charitable organization needs money. Anybody who tells you they don't need money, they're pulling something over their eyes. To do the work that they need to do and that they want to do, they need donations, but they also need your time. So whatever charitable organization that you want to support, think in terms of giving not just, a check that you may send them, but also getting out there and doing some work with your time. There are boards that need intelligent minds on them. There is work that needs to be done. Any school that has a school carnival, in addition to, working the booths in the carnival, they need people to show up and help break down the carnival when it's over. I mean, it's not fun, but it needs to get done. And I've always found it very fulfilling and gotten a lot out of the time that I've donated to the various organizations and groups that I've given my time to. And I think that most people would. It's like anything else, especially as attorneys. We're very conscious of our time. But, when you give it to the aid of someone other than yourself, I think you'll find it very rewarding.